This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live with my heavy breathing in all its glory. We've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. I got some footage of a megachurch pastor, you know. I love making fun of religious people. Plenty of political news to get to. Yet another outbreak inside the White House. Of course, we've got election news. I finally found concrete evidence of election fraud, and we are going to play that video here in just a little bit. The GOP is already attacking one of the senators in the runoff elections in Georgia. And when I saw why, it blew my fucking mind. And once again, GOP attacks have resulted in me liking a Democratic candidate more. They raised the profile of somebody that I had no clue about and said, oh, that's what he did? Hell yeah, I'm for this guy. Let's go donate to his campaign. So good job, GOP. Plus, we're going to talk about Jeff Epstein here in just a little bit. But first, last night on the show, I did a whole piece dedicated to a Trump-supporting friend that I have, where he listed, and it wasn't to me, it was just to some friend on his Facebook, and I saw the comment. He listed all the things that Trump has accomplished and the ways that Trump fundamentally changed his life. Now, I went one by one and broke all those things down and said, like, they're all wrong. So this was his response. The show last night was presented intelligently. Your conclusions were wrong, of course. Now, this was an exchange I was having with him about noon, 1 o'clock today. This screenshot is from a few minutes before I came on the show. How were they wrong when I presented all the evidence? And just like a right-winger, crickets. You've got nothing back. The people that claim facts don't care about your feelings operate 100% on their fucking feelings. He's got no evidence. He can't prove me wrong. You all saw it. I had the statistics on the screen. Right-wingers are morons. Now, I've tried to get him to come on the show. Either way, I've told him just to call in, be some rando. I don't know who you are. Not going to say your name or anything. I do the phones. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's on your mind? You know, that kind of shit. So I wouldn't know it was him. Or he is an author. A published author. I told him, hey man, I'll plug your shit on my show. I don't have that many followers yet. I'll plug the hell out of your stuff. Come on, have this conversation with me. Please prove that I'm stupid. He ain't gonna do it. And I'm sorry, but like I have been going at this guy for months. And he puts up with my shit, so I give him props with that. I will say, damn dude, I like you just because you took my abuse for months. So that's pretty cool. In other news, I spent some time on Parler last night. I got my account set up. Now, if you'll look up here, first of all, let me tell you about Parler. The interface sucks ass. I don't know. Yes, you are correct. I do not know what intern designed this site, but they did a horrible job. So if we actually do some trolling on the air here, you're going to see that the interface sucks. But I spent about 20, 30 minutes, I changed my profile. My username is @JustinFreakin if you'd like to follow me on the free speech platform. So I spent about 30 minutes. I haven't checked yet. 99 plus notifications. It didn't take me long to get over 100 downvotes. One comment I made was like 50 downvotes like that. But I can't. I think I'm not verified on here, and when I tried to respond back to people to do some real trolling, I was using links to news sites to my videos and shit. And apparently, if you're not verified, you can't post links. So I didn't actually get verified in time for the show. So we're just gonna look over what people have said to me, how many downvotes I've gotten. Aw, I was hoping this was all downvotes. It's just fucking idiots posting shit. And their echoes and stuff. Aw. Yeah, the quartering, he asked what would be a good topic for a video tonight. And I'm like, why everybody hates Jeremy from the quartering? That got pretty downvoted. Yeah, these aren't responses to me. It is just spam from people I don't like. I would actually like to get back to where I was trolling. There we go. There. This is people downvoting me. This guy, @JustinFreakin. So basically, you only get what big tech allows you to see on your computer in your mom's basement. God damn! They all say the same thing, like a fucking string pull doll. You live in your mom's basement. No, I don't. This is my apartment, fuckers. I haven't spoken to my mom in like a year now. Not much Christianity there. God's name in vain will only condemn you. Well, I'm not a fucking Christian, first of all. There is no... I don't even know who I was... This interface sucks ass so bad. I don't know who I was responding to here. There is no fraud. The Trump legal team has been laughed out of court. Right-wingers are morons. That's true. 100% true. So basically you only get what big tech allows you to see. That's what his comment was in response to. No, sir. Like another right-wing moron I was having a argument with this morning. I can show you the court transcripts. The Trump team has had to admit over and over and over again there is no fraud. But please stick with us. I do have a video proving fraud. We're going to watch that here in a little while. My comment was in reply to a troll. Yeah. Your comment was in reply. The whole user interface sucks ass. Nobody knows who they're responding to. Nobody knows what the original post was. I don't even know who I was responding to on this. I do watch Communist News Network, MSNBC, Fox, One American. Son, I don't watch any of those. I don't have a TV service. That's what I had a dude tell me that, like, I'm not a free thinker. I'm like, man, I do well over an hour every night. Please call in, debate with me. Not a free thinker, my ass. I'm still waiting on proof that there is any fucking fraud. Yet the prominent individuals that are paid to do just that lie out of their fake teeth just so they can make their ratings. Journalism is dead. Benjamin Franklin would punch you in the fucking face. Leftist, Marxist, socialists do that. Man, he threw out all the comments on me, didn't he? But I will get verified. So I can actually post shit, and then we'll do some live trolling. We'll probably do that tomorrow. But starting off the show tonight, I've been meaning to really talk about this the last couple of days. Guys, the coronavirus is out of fucking control in this country. Number of cases. Oh, you shut up, CNN. Nobody cares about you. I just wanted the graphs. Look at this. And look how steep it is. And remember, this lags 2 or 3 weeks behind. So we're already way up here off the fucking chart. So this is positivity rates. There was a lot of positivity rates. There's a much higher number back in the spring when there were very few tests. So the number of people that were getting tested tend to yield higher positivity rates. So that went down the more testing we did because we were testing people that weren't testing positive. That positivity rates are going back up of the number of people being tested. This is what it looks like in the Midwest. These are the states. Ironically, the states that don't have mask mandates, the states where Republicans are, where they're least likely to follow restrictions. Hospitalizations. We have gone beyond the spike in April. Now in April, this was in metropolitan areas like Seattle, Los Angeles, Boston, New York. This time the spike is in rural America, all through the fucking country. Yeah. Tennessee is eat up with it. And so Joe Biden, his proposal has been like a 4 to 6 week lockdown and to pay everybody to get this under control again. And right-wingers are losing their fucking minds over it. Let's go back to Parler. They were talking about it on the front page. I'm going to upvote my own video. I don't see a poster. Okay, here we go. Here's Graham Allen, who I insulted last night. California becomes the second state to pass 1 million COVID-19 infections. And this is weird. Despite having their citizens living in a literal prison the entire time. That's not true. You're also using the word literal very wrong. You mean a figurative prison. Oh, I guess lockdowns don't work. Yuck, 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 yuck. That's kind of funny because if we look at this graph, oh look, California's still in the green. Guess lockdowns do work. You know why they have 1 million cases, son? Because they have a lot of fucking people. As a percentage, it's actually not that high. Hospitalizations, again, like that number. And there are hospitals all in rural America that are holding press conferences, begging people to rethink their Thanksgiving plans, to please wear masks, and shithead Republicans are still bucking it. I'm going to make like a French hen for myself for Thanksgiving. Like I usually do. Sometimes my family comes and picks me up and has me cook dinner. But one of the things that really pisses me off is I am a concert head. I haven't been to a concert in quite some time. Nick Cave came on while I was in the shower like, God damn, I was going to see Nick Cave this year. Fuck you coronavirus, but mainly fuck you assholes that aren't following the guidelines. The deaths are getting ready to skyrocket. Because one of the reasons why the death rate now, we're better at treating it now, but it's also mutated into several different strains. Just like I said it would. A guy back in like March or April blocked me on Facebook for saying, hey, you don't want to let this run wild because it could mutate into something worse. He posted a woman that said there is a 1 in 100 chance of that happening. And I'm like, do you know what happens when you give something that has a 1 in 100 of a chance? Millions of chances. It happens. You dumb fuckers. I wish I'd go I love going out to dinner. Sparkles and I used to go out to dinner every Friday night. I haven't sat in a restaurant in an incredibly long time. I've gotten takeout a few times. I've had pad thai. I've had some barbecue from my favorite barbecue place. I've had sushi delivered to me. On my birthday, I had sushi delivered to me. Other than that, I have cooked completely from home. I miss restaurants. That's the last of those charts. Now, Pfizer has announced that they've had a very effective vaccine, like 90% effective, which is incredible. Unfortunately, some of these vaccines may have potentially unpleasant side effects. May cause people to feel crummy for a few days, and then they'll need a second dose. And the crazy part about these vaccines is they have to be kept refrigerated. I think they have to be below freezing. So they have to be transported in refrigerated trucks. Pfizer is expected to seek federal permission to release its COVID-19 vaccine by the end of November. Will require 2 doses to work. Injections must be given weeks apart. Scientists anticipate that the shots will cause innervating? I've never seen that word before. Innervating flu-like side effects. And even if a vaccine proves 90% effective, the rate Pfizer touted for its product, 1 in 10 recipients would still be vulnerable. That means, at least in the short term, as population level immunity grows, people can't stop social distancing and throw away their masks. I've been saying it all along. We probably need to start wearing masks in public during flu season anyway. I don't like people spitting on me. Like, just when you're like walking through an area, you sit down at a table, take your fucking mask off. No big deal. Do it for the health of other people. Now, China has already started vaccinating people with an experimental vaccine. Which, in a way, I think is kind of cool. You guys go ahead and try it out. Let us have access to your medical data. Because, in all honesty, I don't trust capitalism. I don't trust Pfizer. And I definitely don't trust the current occupant of the White House. Let's see. China has 4 experimental vaccines developed by 3 companies now going through phase 3 of human trials and safety testing before they can be approved for commercial use. The 2 frontrunners have both stressed that they are not ready to deploy their vaccines commercially. Well, hey, at least they're being cautious about it. But you know who isn't being cautious about anything? Idiot-ass right-wingers, especially religious people here in the United States. LA megachurch pastor mocks pandemic health orders even as church members fall ill. There is no pandemic. The words from the white-haired pastor echoed inside the cavernous megachurch. August 30th. Now, I didn't get a chance to go and dig through the videos and actually get that video, but you know I did find a video of him that we are indeed going to watch. This was his sermon from last night.
Facebook shops.
Wow, you're gonna have your channel monetized when you've got the word of God? Holy shit. I think somebody said, "Make not my father's house a house of merchandise." Was that the quote? But I mean, not like religious people are ever hypocrites, right?
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
We
obviously desire to do everything for
And I love
the
how
Lord.
this is a must-watch.
It's another way of saying, whatever you do, whether you eat or drink, or whatever you do it all to the glory of the Lord.
Even if you're spreading the coronavirus, do it to the glory of the
As I
Lord.
said earlier, we want to take a look at the subject of fellowship,
Can I get an amen?
something we are missing in a dire way these days. The very essence of
I guess that's a
life in
dig
the
at the
church
COVID restrictions.
is relational. And relational not in a superficial way, but in a very intense and deep and
Now, I wonder if he puts his
way.
money where his mouth is and actually
The model for that,
doesn't
of
wear a
course, is the
mask,
Trinity.
doesn't protect
Father, Son, and
himself.
Holy Spirit in that eternal relationship of
'Cause
love.
you look awfully old.
We, being made in God's image, are made for relationship. And the purest and best and highest and noblest of those relationship categories exists in the life of those who belong to God, who share his life.
I watched a couple minutes of this dude. It was really boring. It was not
New
must
Testament
watch,
tells
as
us
they
that
said.
the Son of God came and pitched his tent.
Fuck him. Pitched his tent. Maybe I should have stuck with him. But now, college football has had. I know nothing about sports. I just saw that like games constantly being canceled the last few days. Apparently, football teams are eat up with it. And that's the thing. They shouldn't have had school this year. Absolutely not. Especially not colleges. Now, there's arguments to be made for elementary school students and doing it in a safe way. But college, especially colleges with sports programs, is one of the things that's been driving this. First of all, they wanted to be able to charge full price for tuition. And that's why they wanted people on campuses. Make no mistake about it. And they wanted football games to continue. I mean, this is just an absolute death march. I can't believe that we have been willing to just let this virus ravage our communities and kill. Are we over 250,000 people dead? I don't even know the number yet. I've lost count. All in the name of profit. Because the thing that would have done the best is just pay people to sit at home for a little while. Now, I can't argue with people trying to go out and make a living when the government isn't providing you any help. But we should have had rent freeze, mortgage freeze. We should have paid everybody to sit their asses at home. And had we done that through March, May, June, and actually contact trace and test people the proper way, we could have absolutely had sports. We could have had concerts. Things are back to normal in other countries, or close to. But now, thanks to our stupidity, doctors are even saying reinfection is more likely than initially thought.
Wish you didn't have to pay full price.
Wish I didn't have to watch fucking commercials. Now, you may ask, why don't I use an ad blocker? And it's because I go to a lot of these news sites and I have to turn the ad blocker off in order to watch their shit.
Treated more.
So this is a
fact, we
University
treated
of
more-
Alabama Birmingham doctor. I thought it was fitting since I did a sports story. They are like one of the premier programs, medical programs for medical
More than
sports.
In fact,
Look.
we've treated more than one, and I suspect we're going to start seeing more too now that more people are getting infected.
The CDC says reinfections remain rare.
When the first cases were reported The emphasis
I'm betting
was,
that
well,
number
this was
goes up
really
after the
uncommon.
holidays.
Probably doesn't
Way
really
up.
happen very often. I think it's maybe not that uncommon.
Meaning,
You know, initially they were saying less than 1%. I'm not really sure it's going to be that low. It may be as high as 5% or even 10%. Why do I say that? Because coronaviruses, as we have talked about before, are the part of the spectrum of viruses that cause the common cold.
common.
We get common colds a lot, and we get common colds from different coronaviruses, and sometimes the same coronaviruses winter after winter.
What about post-COVID immunity?
I don't think that the immunity, the natural immunity to these infections is particularly long lasting.
The cases Dr. Marazzo's reviewed show
And they've happened pretty much after about 3 months, which makes sense because your antibody probably doesn't last
has some
beyond
awesome
3
glasses.
to 4 months, maybe, even though we have some debate about that. So I do think reinfections are a risk.
she says they tell even patients who've been infected to continue to follow the same COVID precautions.
Please, if you've had COVID before, don't assume you're not susceptible again. It may mean your second infection isn't as severe, but it doesn't mean
I've
you
seen a
can't
couple people say their
get it.
second
So even if you
infection
don't
is
have a
far
bad infection
worse.
The second time, you're
So now, the White House is also eat up with it.
How does Fabletics
fuck.
take 5-star leggings to a whole new level?
Never mind, we won't watch the video then. Several top Trump aides, campaign officials, and allies have tested positive for COVID-19 since they attended his election night party. Yes. Contact tracing is, and at this point, with as widespread as it is, we really need everybody on the apps, like reporting their data and shit. Especially if you got like the Fitbit and the Apple shit that knows your temperature and stuff. We need people on those apps. I have the app on my phone so that we can help get the proper contract tracing done. But I mean, you're getting ready to see a bunch of people act like it's not a big deal here. Especially the idiots that attended the election night party. A largely maskless event. David Bosey, who's handling Trump's re-election legal challenges, tested positive. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar was the only high-profile attendee seen wearing a mask. Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff, tested positive. Brian Jack, Haley Baumgartner. This is the third super spreader event that Trump has held, not counting his stupid-ass rallies, that resulted in the deaths of at least 700 people. Now, that was, what, a week ago we did that story? Before the election? 700 people traced to the rallies? I wonder what that number is now. You know who else tested positive? The oldest member of Congress. Of course he's a Republican. Representative Don Young, the oldest member of Congress, Don Young, tested positive for COVID-19. And may God bless Alaska. Said he's feeling strong and following proper protocols. So, Must Read Alaska published a photo on Monday in a newsletter that showed Young at a recent birthday party for his longtime political consultant at an Anchorage restaurant. Was he wearing a mask? That's what I was wondering. None of the attendees were wearing masks in the photo. He's the oldest member of Congress. But hey, you know, it's with all the COVID and all the deaths happening, it's the perfect time for a fucking march on Washington by a bunch of idiots that aren't going to wear masks, all right?
Mississippi, into Florida. We'll turn north into Georgia, and we'll go up
This
through the Carolinas
is the
into Virginia.
Million MAGA March
on
happening
Friday.
this weekend in D.C.
And we're going to call for others to launch caravans around the nation, in the Midwest, in the South, and in the East Coast to D.C. Truckers are already announcing big strikes they're going to have, takeover of D.C. this next weekend. So don't worry, President
It's part
Trump,
of the Stop the
cavalry's
Steal
coming.
movement.
You changed the world forever. And whether we're supposed to be like the Alamo and go forward and be destroyed in this fight, or whether we are victorious, doesn't matter, because it's all before God, and God's looking down. And I laid out the future.
I'm infinitely
Told them we
amused
tried to
by
stop
Alex
what was
Jones,
coming.
but yeah, I hate his
What was
guts.
coming next, and they understood. And so this is going to be a lot easier now.
Wonder if he had a big bowl of chili
His
before he did
enemy's
this
going to be right out in the
video.
open. But for all the yuppies and all the trendies and all those that have signed on to Satan,
I'm a yuppie and I signed on to
with
Satan.
Donald John Trump, all I got was pain. But I knew that was the way to go. Just stay in your houses. Just submit. Biden's going to be nice. Oh, he's going to be real nice. We must not comply. It's the final assault. It's the takeover. And it's
Comply with what? Anything short of their fetishization of far-right fascism is complying. Let's check in with Raging Rob, who is on his way to DC
Going on
right now.
Here, let me turn my radio down.
Let's see what you got to say, Rob.
I'm on my way to DC. I just crossed in
And this was last
just got on
night.
the Ohio Turnpike right now.
I guess he's there by now.
I just got on the Ohio Turnpike. I'll be coming up on Cleveland in about an hour and a half.
I would assume
I'm
he's
on
in
my way to
DC by
right now
now.
on my Charger, my Dodge.
He might have
Charger.
stopped in
I
got
went
a
to
hotel
Lansing
room.
today and it was cold as fuck out. There was a few people out there. I didn't get there till about 2:15. But I met some good people there today in Lansing. I guess they're going to be out there every day.
They're not going with you to the Million MAGA
Until we
March?
get, re-audit. Or audit and a recount until we get the Supreme Court to do their job and have.
Now, that was one of the things. The idiot I was talking to earlier today kept saying the Supreme Court, Bush v. Gore. And I'm like, do you even know how a case makes its way up to the Supreme Court? Do you even know what happened in Bush v. Gore? And he just kept saying the process, the process, the process. I'm like, the process worked. We had a vote. It was legitimate. You're a fucking idiot. And of course, he got mad at me for calling him an idiot. But I'm like, dude, I explained why you're an idiot. I'm not just calling you names. Like the guy last night. Like, why do you get on to me for calling people dumb fucks? Get on to people for being dumb fucks, please. The world would be a better place instead of trying to police my fucking language.
Have them look at the results. A lot of fraud going on.
No. Oh!
So,
We do indeed have video proving fraud in the election. Stay tuned for that.
we're going to the Make America Great Again March is what it's called. It's in DC on Saturday. I thought I'd get a head start, get to DC, and my hotel's in Virginia. My hotel is literally 20 minutes away from the White House on the Virginia side. So I thought I'd get there tomorrow, get some driving done tonight, and then get there, run throughout the night, get there tomorrow morning, check in my motel, and have Thursday and Friday.
And what are you going to accomplish?
Chill out.
What's your
And then go
demand?
to
You
my
want to
rally on
overturn the
Saturday.
election?
So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm in Ohio. So the stupid mainstream media, fake news, tried to say, well, this is a Proud Boy rally. I mean, there's Proud Boys going to be there.
The
but
Proud
it's not
Boys
a
are
Proud Boy
going to be
rally,
there.
Okay? There's a lot of groups going to be there. I'm sure BLM Antifa is going to be there. You know, there's a lot of groups going to be there. We had this
Maybe
small
making
group come
fun
up from
of you.
Chicago. I don't want to say the person's name, but there's a small group of young Make America Great Again Trump supporters that came up from Chicago.
Bunch of morons.
And they were in Lansing today. Now, I didn't catch the beginning of it because I didn't get to the Capitol. The thing started at noon. Noon every day in Lansing at the Capitol. But I didn't get there till about 2:15. Okay? And this young crowd, I don't want to say names, but they're kind of big mouths. And I guess they were saying some nasty stuff to some females. When I didn't catch it because I wasn't there. I didn't get there till 2:15. And I heard what they were saying.
Where is his phone at? Because, like, it looks like it's between, like, his legs or something. Is it strapped to his steering wheel? Like, what the fuck? And why are they always driving when they make these videos?
Saying, and then they went over on Black Lives Matter, the mural in front of the Capitol, and started standing on it, and, you know, whatever. It's whatever.
That doesn't seem very nice.
But you know, I respect women, and I don't be saying that kind of crap to females. I don't care what.
And, like, they're pissing on BLM, but he's listening to some rap music while he's driving down the road.
Side you're on. But anyway, that group, I guess they're from Chicago, and they stopped in Lansing. I guess they're on their way to D.C. So that group I'll probably see in D.C. Alex Jones, he's coming to D.C. So
Alex Jones!
It's going to be big. There's going to be rallies all over the country on Saturday at like every state capital. But D.C.'s the big one. So I'm glad I could be part of this. I'm going to be part of making history. I'm going to be this thing in D.C. this Saturday is going to make history. And I'm glad to be part of it. This thing is going to be historical. I mean, they're expecting it's going to be.
He thinks Alex Jones is goddamn MLK.
So. Anyway,
Alex Jones
going
gonna be on the steps of the monument.
Now.
I have a dream.
A little over an hour, so I'll keep you.
They're turning the frogs gay.
Raging Rob out.
Raging Rob. I'm gonna check in with him again sometime. Wonder how many views that had. I shouldn't have closed it out so fast. Now, Raging Rob is driving to D.C. to protest the fact that the Trump campaign has been in the courts. Saying this is not a fraud case. We are not alleging fraud. We are not saying anyone is trying to steal the election. He's saying there were good faith errors. And there were good faith errors. Now, you might have heard about the Dominion software. Is that what they've all been raving about? That was a good faith error. They didn't update the software interface. There was also the recanvass in Wisconsin, which resulted in 271 good faith errors that threw out Trump votes. So in the audit of 51 counties in Wisconsin, they ended up throwing out 271 votes for Trump and adding 10 votes to Biden. Now, those kind of good faith errors do indeed happen in the election, but they're not proof of anything. But now, this woman here has decided to tell us
the country.
Yeah, I know all about it.
Voter fraud.
Tell us exactly what's going on with voter fraud. Let's take a listen.
It's a real problem in the country.
Yeah, I know all about it.
Have you ever seen any voter fraud?
Yeah, me, I did it.
You committed voter fraud? What'd you do?
Voted twice for Trump.
Really?
4 years ago, yes.
Did you get in trouble for that?
Yeah, I'm still on probation for it.
Really?
Yeah. Now, if I had voted for Hillary, I would have got a gold medal.
No, ma'am.
But you voted for Trump twice.
Yes, I did, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I learned the hard way not to do it.
But did you wear a mustache or anything?
No.
Did you wear a mustache or anything?
A different time. I voted
Yeah.
one time, like maybe a couple weeks later, try and vote at another place, someplace else.
I don't know. I'm having like a big crisis because I honestly thought it was like libs that were doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that is the Good Liars on Twitter. I'd never heard of them, but after I found this video, their content is solid. Go give them a follow. If you can, I'm banned from Twitter. Now, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy had some thoughts on Biden. This is the House Minority Leader, the leadership of the GOP.
Feel that any of the legal efforts or the recounts will change the results in any single state or overturn anything related to the overall election.
I focused heavily on the House races. I thought when I looked, I follow data numbers. I thought early on that Arizona, based upon the number of votes that were left out, could switch back to President Trump. Don't know if that's going to be the case.
No, Arizona's been saying no, that's not the case.
Let me give you an example, I guess more on a micro level, because it's very difficult. Like I have in my own race, in my county, we have 2 congressional seats. They tell me there's approximately 150,016 votes left. They use the number 16, and it's approximate. But they can't tell me in which district they are. I just watched a race in New Jersey that the AP called, and probably called way too soon. Tom Kaine is coming back up because in the manner of what we've had this election is different than others, okay? A lot of
just because his vote tally's going back up doesn't mean that it wasn't an insurmountable lead for his opponent.
So when they counted, some counted certain votes coming in, and it'd be disproportionate. Democrats more likely voted in the absentee portion, and Republicans overwhelmingly voted on Election Day. So each area doesn't count them the same. So in this case in New Jersey, they counted the votes based upon when they came in. So it looked like a member had a really high margin. So they call the vote. Now we're seeing it just trick down.
But
so
I mean,
the new ones that are counting,
the AP and the news agencies that call these things, they know that.
The answer to your question is one could. And it's best because everybody took the time to go vote. Let's wait till we have all the information. They're going to recount by hand in Georgia. That's going to take some time.
And it's not going to change the result. Biden won Georgia.
In the last presidential. Let's let all of them carry out. And yeah, some of them could switch. Yes, ma'am.
You added a record number of women to the conference, but obviously still a fraction of what the Democrats have in terms of diversity.
You can't even give us that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's your plan to continue to increase diversity in the conference?
Exactly what the plan I told you 2 years ago. That I believe the Republican Party is much more diverse. They're all burning up. We're not socialists. They literally claimed to be, and they lost over it. We defeated a sitting chairman of a committee. Been here more than 30 years. The DCCC own chair had to put $1 million into her own race in the last week, and it was questioned on election night whether she was going to win.
Yeah, because Democrats suck.
One day, you should at least let us have what took place that night. It was an unbelievable night for Republicans in Congress. Something that we told you about 2 years ago, that we would be more diverse exactly the way we look at it across the party. Those people had to run.
They did their best to go out of their way to find token candidates, yes. Now, on MSNBC, this dude pretty much summed up how we all feel after hearing all this bullshit from the right-wing morons.
What have you learned, sir?
Oh, shit. Fuck.
Okay. Akin, what have you learned, sir?
Oh, shit. Fuck.
That is the way I felt.
Akin, what have you learned, sir?
After watching that preacher, Alex Jones.
Fuck.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
Okay. Ken, what have you learned, sir?
Oh, shit.
Now, I want to point out that one of the reasons why Kevin McCarthy, Mitch McConnell, all the rest of the chuckle fucks in the GOP are going so hard. Ah, shit, this is the wrong one. So this is a Trump-backing newspaper. Ah, yeah, I fucked up I don't have the link I need. This is a Trump-backing newspaper, and they're saying Trump is just trying to delay the inevitable. This paper is owned by one of the mega donors who funded Trump. But the reason why Kevin McCarthy, Mitch McConnell are going so hard on trying to thread the needle with Trump, like, oh, let it play out in the courts, let him do the legal recourse. They're not wanting to lose the enthusiasm of people like Raging Rob and the people that Alex Jones are firing up. Because they're afraid they're going to lose the Senate races in Georgia without Trump at the top of the ticket to drive turnout. Because as we saw in 2018, Democrats are very motivated to vote against these fucks. For good reason. But there was an enthusiasm gap. The Trump supporters were incredibly enthusiastic going into the election. And that's one of the reasons why you saw record turnout. Donald Trump won more votes than any other Republican president in history. It's insane. But they're afraid without him on the top of the ticket, there won't be the turnout that they need to win. And they're probably right. And they've started going after Raphael Warnock. And they've been promoting his arrest from 18 years ago. Now, he was arrested for obstruction of justice. In relation to, how did they put it? Yeah, Loeffler aide Stephen Lawson said, what exactly was going on there? What was the nature of the child abuse? What was his involvement? Because apparently the case involved child abuse. Now, Warnock wasn't accused of abusing a child. That's pretty hardcore Republican domain. What happened was he got in the way of investigators that were trying to question a child without a lawyer present. This guy was protecting the rights of an American citizen. August 2002, Warnock was working at the Douglas Memorial Community Church in Baltimore when he and another minister were charged with obstructing a police investigation into suspected child abuse at a church-run camp in rural Carroll County, Maryland. He and the other minister were not suspects in the investigation, but were charged because authorities say they interrupted an interview of a counselor at Camp Farthest Out, an outreach ministry for inner city kids, and later tried to block a camper from talking to the police. Warnock told the newspaper he was only asserting that lawyers need to be present during the interviews. Now that is something a lot of people don't know. You can waive your right to a lawyer with the cops. You have to actually request a lawyer to have them present. And if like a underage kid doesn't know that and sits in there with the cops and the cops are all buddy nice to them, end up getting them to admit to shit that they didn't actually do. Like with the Central Park 5. Because cops are assholes, just like Republicans. I'm going to skip ahead here on my list, but I don't know where else this fits in, and I really want to talk about it. The Louisville Metro Police Department in Kentucky, the department that shot and killed Breonna Taylor, that murdered Breonna Taylor, hid almost 750,000 records documenting the sexual abuse of minors by Louisville police officers. 750,000 records of abuse by minors by Louisville police officers. And people wonder why they're out in the streets chanting defund the police. God damn. They're using taxpayer dollars to abuse children, cover it up. Where's the Save the Children people? I haven't seen one of those fucks post about this. I haven't even seen people talk about this story. I'm astounded. And it's shit like this that pisses me off more than anything. And then you've got assholes like Joe Manchin inside the Democratic Party that say, oh, messages like defund the police don't resonate. So here, Senator Joe Manchin, defund the police, defund my butt. I'm a proud West Virginia Democrat. We are the party of working men and women. We want to protect Americans' jobs and health care. We do not have some crazy socialist agenda, and we do not believe in defunding the police. I'm sorry, Joe Manchin. You believe in paying for them to abuse 750 fucking children? Now, AOC tweeted out this picture in response to it. Stare a hole in the back of his head. Slay, queen. I wasn't on the AOC bandwagon originally, but every day she proves to me how badass she is. And the Democratic Party is in full swing trying to attack her, Ilham Omar, Ariana Presley, Rashida Tlaib. But amazingly enough, Doug Jones agreed with her. Jones, the sole incumbent Democratic senator to lose, said both party campaign arms need to change their mission. He said Stacey Abrams' work in Georgia should be a model for the party's work in individual states, while he contends that the DSCC and the DCCC spend too much time investing in candidates and not the electorate. They don't invest in the districts. They don't invest in the party structure that would help them win. And the reason why is they don't care about winning. They want to be a controlled opposition. They want to funnel money into TV stations and consultants that do nothing for the party, that don't give us actual results. And that is why people are disillusioned with the Democratic Party. And that is why people like AOC need to take it the fuck over. They have a really good opportunity to deliver for the people by putting two specific people in positions that they were fucking tailor-made for. And that is Elizabeth Warren should be the Treasury Secretary and Bernie Sanders should be the Labor Secretary. That is a way that you deliver meaningful change to the people and start to restore faith in the Democratic Party. I don't think it's going to happen. If it does, it's because Bernie has such a strong apparatus that will indeed be able to put enough pressure on Joe Biden to get him to do it. I'm actually very encouraged by Senator Chuck Schumer who is up for re-election in 2022, who's starting to sound more and more like a progressive. Why? Because he lives in New York. There's all these progressive groups that are constantly on his doorstep. That's the way you do it. You put pressure on them that they can see. All right, let's finish up tonight by talking about a story we covered. I don't think it was last night. I think it was night before last. Dean Browning, who posted on Twitter, "I'm a black gay guy, and I can personally say that Obama did nothing for me. My life only changed a little bit, and it was for the worse." So, I showed that. I showed the burner account that people believe to be Browning's. Dan Purdy, I think it was. Yeah, Dan Purdy. So let's see some of the tweets by Dan Purdy. Like I said, black women will be the death of America. How do these people stay on Twitter? How do these people stay on Twitter? Twitter kicks me off. All I do is get mass reported by Nazis. I love the taste of black girl fear. Like, remember, this is an old white guy tweeting this shit. What's going through this man's mind? And he's a fucking elected official. No. I'm sorry. He was a county official, former county official for the Republican Party. My bad. Yeah, how to hate myself for being black. She's a disgrace to the race. Black power, white guilt. What? Good because we need lots of it for the fisting the Dems are giving us. What? Now, this was the tweet he sent out regarding the tweet that is going viral from my account. I was quoting a message that I received earlier this week from a follower. Sorry the context was not clear. And then he actually says, oh shit, the account got suspended. Fuck. Do we still have the video? Oh, no, it's okay.
Hey guys, my name is Dan Purdy, and I am indeed a gay black man. The message that you saw on Dean's Twitter was posted. I don't actually know how it was posted, but I did send it to him because I had a problem with how people of my race and sexual persuasion are treating Donald Trump. I don't have a problem with Donald Trump on those levels, and I don't understand why so many pretend to. Donald Trump has never done anything to...
First of all, that frame looks rather expensive. And there's a Bible right there.
...hurt me, either as a gay man or as a black man, nor has he done anything to hurt anybody in the 4 years that he's been in office, because he hasn't had time to.
250,000 people have died because of his incompetence. Don't give me 666 children were separated from their parents and are missing. Probably being trafficked by the assholes with badges on. Didn't hurt anybody, Dan Purdy. That's just off the top of my fucking head. I bet they did pay him a pretty penny.
Years that he's been in office because he hasn't had time to. So what's the big deal? I sent that message to Dean. Dean accidentally posted it somehow, and that's the end of the story. No, he's not a sock puppet. No, I'm not a bot. I hope you understand.
That's just crazy.
My name.
Many of the replies to the video ask questions like, how much is he paying you? And accusing him of being a hired actor. So Dan Purdy was also the name listed on a suspended account that had a history of several other aliases. As in Patriarchy and White Goodman. At least he's clever with his Twitter handles. But now it shouldn't be hard to... Oh, yeah, we did figure out who he is. In yet another twist, people notice similarities between the avatars and faces of the man in the video and William Holt, otherwise known as Bile Holt, otherwise known as the adopted son and nephew of music legend Patti LaBelle. And so he actually has written several articles about feminism and anti-racism. Proudly calls himself an anti-feminist TV critic. I would love to see a debate between Candace Owens and AOC. But Candace Owens is too busy making videos begging for money. Watched one when I went over to Echoplex Media the night before last. Producer Dave was playing one. Alright guys, that'll do it for me. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you tomorrow night for a freaking Friday edition of the Troll Patrol. Live!